Okay, in this tutorial I just want to talk about Google icons. I'm not going to really lecture on Bootstrap. We'll just look at it real quickly. I see W3C Schools has done a little tutorial on it, so I'll let them do it. But let's go ahead and look at what we got in terms of code. Okay, I got WCSS images. Here's my code here. I'm just going to make it a little bigger here. I just made the font size 2M. What I want to do now is use icons from Google. Now, before with Font Awesome, we had preset file names, preset class names, I should say. Sorry, not file names, class names. And we had to get the spelling sort of exact. But with Google Fonts, they're not really willing to make money off icons, so we don't have to have any preset classes with preset names. Google lets us build classes on top of their predefined class. So let's get started. I just want to quickly go over. Let's get Google up and just take a look at Bootstrap. Bootstrap has got icons. It's got a few other options. They've got other components to sell. This is what I mean by the Bootstrap School. Over here, you can go ahead and try a couple of these Bootstrap. Glyph cons are basically were initially designed for. We can see their code here. They use for buttons. We use it as buttons. We can use them as links. You could also do. There's a couple other progress bars. They do a bunch of stuff here with Bootstrap. Let's double click over here. So for those of you who may be interested, you can come on back another time. And I want to use their progress bars. There's nav bars, breadcrumbs, pagination, etc., page headers, in which you use their plugin to get these things done. The other thing I want to talk about is glyph cons, basically designed for phones. These do not all work, so just don't copy. You can see the code for them, but they will not all work with Bootstrap, because obviously some of these are obviously $30 to $59 plus VAT to download these. So just go to the W3C page and use those. Those I know are free, and I know they will work. Okay. Now we're enough with Bootstrap. Let's go on with Google. So the important thing with Google is basically very much the same as Font Awesome. Let's go first, click on the materials icon, go on down, page on down, and here are all the available icons we have available. Go ahead and go pick one. I'll just go print, good enough. Okay. So click down here, and then we will get here our two options. We can either do it by the print name, or we can do it by ASCII code. I mean, not ASCII, hex code. So just to double check, we'll just go ahead, Control C, and then throw this into our body here after CSS images, Control V, and I can, let's go back, and I'm going to go ahead and use the hex just to prove that the hex works. Control C, shrink it down, Control V. Now, here is an opportunity where I might want to, I could do a line break here. Let's just to get it separated. Another thing that might work is I don't want to have a line break. I want them next to each other, or I want a little more spaces. If you recall back in my ASCII tutorial, NBSP allows me to go ahead and put some spaces, NBSP, between my icons in this case. Otherwise, remember, browsers are space agnostic. It shrinks all the spaces down to one. Now, I got my body command here. In this case, they use I believe you can use any inline element, like span, bold. I think they will all work. Okay, now I need to build, I've declared a class, material icons, but I have not declared it here in my style section. So it must be coming from somewhere. Yes, it's coming from Google. Google is defining it, so we need to link it in. Let's go back to, I want to show you where you can pick up the links, because sometimes you throw out the notes and it changes a year or two later. Simply go over here to Google Icons, Google Design. Then you've got the options, and just scroll on down here. Again, there's the assumption is if you're doing this as your own website, you're going to download these icons back onto your server. But in this case, because we're students on a school system, we just got to link them all in. So Control C, you'll notice that you're very much like Google Fonts, and then throw it back into our code. Remember, the link goes inside the head command, but before the style command. So there you go. Now Control S and refresh, and I should have 2 small printer images. There you go. You notice there was a small delay in there as it went out to Google to get the definition of the class. Now you've got 2 options here. One, is this a one-off? Are you going to use this icon only once? If I'm going to do that, I can go ahead and simply put an inline style on it. Again, if you're doing more than one, it needs to be in quotes, colon 50px, and maybe color green. Good. A semicolon quote. Okay, so in this case, I'm doing an inline style element. Control S, and then refresh, and then I guess my printer is now green and 50 pixels. Okay. The problem is, hey, I want to define a class because I hate to type and I don't want to do this all the time. So what we do is we build on the class that Google has declared. So what I got to do is period, which says, hey, this is a class. Material, make sure we spell it right. Material, yep, dot icons, dot whatever you want to call this thing, ABC if you want. There's nothing sacred. And then inside, you can put in what styles, what font, whatever you want in here. So I'm going to, in terms of copy and pasting, I'm going to Control C. I'm going to throw that in here, Control V. There you go. So there you go. I've got this is now a new class. This class is material icons.abc. It's got a font size of, let's just change this. I'm going to make this 100 just to make sure that, guarantee that it works. You can see the visible difference. Okay. Now, what we do in here is we simply hit just like we did with awesome icons. Okay, hit space, and then whatever your file name is. In this case, ABC. I think with the animation with Font Awesome was space fa.spin or fa.10x. Again, these are class names that they set up, but here we can define our own. There you go. Class icon, and you're good to go. Now we go ahead and put in our, oops, we forgot our little tag there. I deleted it. Now, let's go ahead and give it a name. So again, Control S, refresh. There you go. So now it's 100 pixels and green. So again, this is the nice thing about Google Icons, is I can build on that class, and that's probably the thing I want to have you carry away from this lesson is when I build a class, I can add things to that class. So let's go ahead and we can do the same thing here. Let's do them for both. It's at ABC. So now these both will be, let's just change the color just to confirm, red and 100 pixels. Okay, so Control S, refresh, and they're 2 icons. Okay, so eventually we can do our own animations. I'll talk about that much later, but we can create a class that does our own animations. So anyway, Google Icons, building on a class to create your own is the thing that I want you to carry away with. Okay, end of Google Icons.